You know what this means? It is time for a swatch and sip where we're going to be sitting down, swatching some beautiful eyeshadows while sipping on a little drink. So make sure you pause, go grab yourself something to drink and hang out with me because today we are swatching the new ODENS Eye Legendary Diversa 2 collection. Let's get into it. First sip. Oh, yums. Yummy, yummy. ODENS Eye has just launched its newest collection. Like I said, it's the Legendary Diversa 2 collection. So this is the second time they are working with these three creators, and I was so stoked about this collection because the Legendary Diversa 1 collection easily had some of my all-time favorite palettes from ODENS Eye. They worked with Annette, Tina, and Judy, and I'll talk about each as I get into each of their palettes. And those women can put together a color story. So when I was told they were coming out with this round 2, I was like, give them to me. These were sent to me in PR, but ODENS Eye is one of those brands where if they launched something and I wasn't on their PR list, I'm picking it up. They launched some of my favorite color stories, and I think they launched some of the most unique formulas at a really great price compared to what's on the market right now. If you love glimmery, shimmery, textured eyeshadows, and unique color stories, ODENS Eye is one of my favorites. This collection is going to feature 3 eyeshadow palettes, and of those 3 creators, each one of them also got to collaborate with 3 different lip products. That's why I only have lip liner on right now. We're going to play with some of the colors that they picked out for lips. So I'm going to go creator by creator, but details about this collection, it's going to launch on Valentine's Day, which I think, if I can get this up when I want, should be today, right now at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Talk about a good gift for yourself if you love yourself. So we're going to go through each creator's collection. I'm going to first start off with Annette's, since Annette's ended up on my eye today. Now Annette is known for colorful eyeshadows. She does a lot of indie brand palette videos. So I was excited to see what she could come up with this round, and I really like it. Her collection is called the Mighty Monster palette, and my favorite thing about ODENS Eye is always their artwork. They do a phenomenal job. Let's take a closer look at this palette. Each palette, by the way, is going to be $36.90, but you actually can get all of the products for $70.74. That is a really great deal. I definitely recommend, if you are liking what these collections are bringing, that you get the bundle in terms of value, but only if you like all the colors. So this is what we're working with. I see green and purple, so instantly you know I like it. Today I played with mostly the blues, the purples, and the greens. So for today's look, it was pretty simple. I used Oceanic right here, and I blended that on the inner quarter of my crease. It was very pigmented, very easy to blend. And then in the outer corner, I went into this dark purple and I blended that in the outer corner of my crease. This one also built up really easily and blended out really easily. The only thing is I did have to keep packing it on as I continued to put other colors on my eyes. So it did fade a little bit, but overall, really beautiful, easy to use purple, because purples can be difficult. I'd rather that than have it get stuck. Then in the center of my eyelid, I went in with this purpley pinky shade and I applied that to the center of my eyelid. Really sparkly. And then I went in with the shade Electrum right here. Now this shade is one of those flaky style shades, so definitely use your finger. It's going to look quite textured, but it's very pretty on this inner part of my eyelid is where I put it. Super duper bright. And then I wanted to still play with some greens, so I went in with this shade right here. It's like a bluish green, super pigmented. I ran it across my lower lash line. And then I went in with Serpent Scales right here, and I put that in the center of my lower lash line. Again, it just gives a really glimmery effect over the eye. And then I went back into Electrum and I applied that to the inner part of my lower lash line. Lots and lots of sparkly shades. This palette is going to give you that mermaid, fairy-like effect. So do keep that in mind when applying, because I do find with these sparkly shades, since they don't have as much of a pigmented base, it's better to use as little colors as possible all over the lid so that you can get the full effect. But the mattes were so lovely. Very pigmented, very easy to blend, very soft to use. Okay, let's get to swatching. Excuse my nails. I've been doing stuff around the house. I just don't want to have any fake nails on for that. But we're going to start off with this top row. I'm not going to say all these names. You guys correct me too much in the comments, which I do appreciate, but like, I don't need everybody to correct me. So we're going to start off with these 4 shades. Sorry, it just got blurry. But you'll see, you'll see. So we have like a taupey matte shade. This is Electrum. It definitely applies more flaky, so be careful of that. Dark chocolate brown, and then this bluish green shade. You can see there's definitely some fallout. They're quite soft. So here is that mid-toned brown shade. This is a great transition color, and for all of my fellow people who are afraid of color, you'll always feel a little bit more comfortable if you start off with this shade. And then we have this shade, which you can see how sparkly it is. It doesn't have much of a pigmented base, but it's going to give you that all over sparkly look. I only applied it on the inner corner of my eye today, or like the inner third. I do want to do a look where this is the star of the show because it was a little too sparkly for the look that I was going for today. And then we have this really soft chocolate brown, which I forgot. I did use it a little bit in today's look, just the tiniest bit. It feels quite soft. And then the last color is this dark emerald bluish green. Not swatching the greatest, however, it applied fabulous. At least in the areas that I applied it on my lower lash line. It was super soft, and it blended really easily and evenly. I personally find swatches to be an indicator of how a color performs, but not the end-all be-all, especially when it comes to mattes. I think with shimmers, it's a great telltale sign, but you can never be too sure about mattes. Anyways, we're going into Serpent Scales, then the blue. That green got all over me. We have an orange shade. All of these shimmers, I would say, need to be applied with a finger to get the most out of it. But this shade is stunning. These two are very clearly meant to be partners in crime. And layer this on top of this shade, you are going to be golden for a crazy smoky green look. Then we have a baby powder blue shade. And I applied this and it was really beautiful and soft. This mustardy yellow right here. I didn't get a chance to use this today, so I can't speak on it. But it adds an interesting pop of color. Could be cool to pair with the green. And then we have this shimmery purple shade that also has a translucent base and a strong pink shift in the glimmers here. Really beautiful. And we have the final bit of this palette. So we have this purple, which I was really impressed with. Like I said, I did have to build it up, but it blended so easily. This red could be really cool. You can go a lot of different like color stories with this palette. You can go warm here, green, you have these neutral tones. Very cool. I need you to look at this shade, Glow Vortex. It looks like it is a multi-chrome shade. I see orange and red shifts in there. Let's take a look. It feels really soft. Oof. How pretty is that? That one could be really pretty for a cool, warm-toned look. And then the last shade is this orangey gold shade. This one's more of a true shimmer. Just comparing it, you can see how these are more sparkly. This one has more of a true pigmented base to it. So we have really good variety in the shimmers here. So this is Annette's beautiful palette. I can say that the colors applied as they look in the pan, on the eyelid, which is a really great plus, and yeah, so gorgeous. Annette also came out with 3 different lip colors. So each of the lip items in all of the collections are $13.90. So let's see what we're dealing with. Annette's has this really pretty blue packaging. So we have a shine in the shade Mythic Rose. This is like a sheer orangey red, more red leaning, I guess, maybe not that much orange. Feels really soft, and it's the prettiest sheer red gloss. You can make it really wearable if you wanted to. That's gorgeous. Okay. I've been appreciating like sheer red glosses like that recently. We have another shine in the shade Snake Kiss. Ooh, this one's really unique. I don't even know how to describe this, honestly. It's kind of like a burnt orange. Reminds me a lot of a fall kind of color. Would be really great in the fall time. So that one's also really pretty. Definitely darker tones in this collection. And then the last one is a glow formulation. And this one is so unique to Oden's Eye. I wouldn't necessarily say I like this formula on its own. Yeah, actually I do. But it's beautiful to put over top of a dry lip. It transforms that formula, that dry lip formula, to something more hydrating. So it's not the glowiest lip color I've ever used, but I love the way that it almost meshes with a drier lip formulation to make it almost like a hydrating lip balm. And this one's pretty sheer as well, but it did add a little bit of color. So those are the lips in Annette's collection. Now let's make our way into the Fancy Face collection. So Fancy Face is her channel name, but Tina is the creator. And she created the Earthwood palette. Look at this artwork, so stunning. This one, if you have a deeper complexion, you're going to love this. I'm so excited about that. This is like a really pretty earthy color story. I mean, take a look at that. It's actually quite wearable in some aspects, but also not. Let's take a look at the colors together. Do keep in mind I haven't tried this yet, so I can't speak on the application. Oh, I'm loving the shimmers that she did for these. So Moss, right? Moss is screaming my name for a smoky eye. Right there, earthy and beautiful. The shade Earth, again, just a really great transition shade to have in a palette. Then we have Blossom, which is like this metallic purple shade. It has a lot of silver in there. Also very pretty. And then Coast, which is this turquoisey green shimmer here. It has a pigmented base, but not too strong of a color to it. That'll be really pretty all over the eyelid. Let's go Leaves next. Strength. Gotta get a lavender in there. I'm very happy about that. You know I love my lavenders. Very smooth. Overall, this palette is less sparkly than Annette's, which I think is also great because Oden's Eye has a shimmer formula that's not to be slapped on, so I'm still happy about that. Strength. Really pretty ambery kind of color. Vitality. Oden's Eye does one of the best jobs with purples, I swear. Purples are so hard to formulate, but Oden's Eye has it down. And then we have Life. This is a fun pop of color here. That added brightness. Oh, how good is this looking all together swatched? Then we have the last four here. This vibrant chartreuse shade. How fun. It definitely looks like this is the multichrome here, that chartreuse looking shade. Petal, this is a unique color. It's like a grayish plum. Then this shade I'm really interested to try. This is Heal. It's a pretty kind of sage color. Wood. Nice brown to go with the earthy tones here. And then Beauty, oh my gosh, it's chartreuse, green, orange, red. The shifts on this one is insane. And the name Earthwood makes total sense. But I love how you still have a couple pops of color in here. Wow, this is a gorgeous color story. Look at that. This one's swatched. Stunning as well. Ooh, I can't wait to do a look with this one. Pause for a moment. Let's all take a sip of our drinks. Now, Tina's lip collection, she also has 2 shines and 1 glow formulation. And look at the pretty ombre here on hers. So let's start off with the shines. We have Brilliance first. Ooh, this is like a red hot orange red. Truly more orange here. This will be fun with some of the green and woody tones that she has in her palette. Really smooth, not sticky formulation, by the way, guys. And a good level of pigmentation. But not too much, though. Not hard to control by any means. can probably be sheared out as well. Okay, next one is Endurance, which this one, more of like an orangey brown. Definitely a unique color, again, for the fall time, or never, obviously. But this is a unique color. All of these ladies are pulling very unique colors. Great additions to your collection, even if you have a large collection. And then the last one, we have a Glow in the shade Creativity. So this one's coming off more sheer. Like I said, you know how I use this formulation over matte lip products. So this one would be great to transform any of those. Super hydrating as well. Okay, so we have Judy's collection next, and her palette is quite different than the other twos. Super duper pastel, but if you look at her page, this is the kind of makeup she does, and she created some beautiful looks with this palette that I've seen. She did this like rainbow pastel eye that I was like, oh, I need to recreate that. So I'm very excited to get this one on my eyes and recreate the look that she did. I think this is a nice juxtaposition of the other two as well. So beautiful artwork as per usual, and here are these very pretty pastel shades. They're pinky, peachy, kind of just looks like Easter to me. So we're going to start off by swatching the top four. So this one is a true shimmer. Then we have 3 mattes. So here's the pastel green. That's a gorgeous shimmer shade right there. Okay, these are all swatching nice. Let's go on to the next ones. This plum shade has my name written all over it. This one's more of a satin shade. Interesting. ODENS Eye doesn't do a lot of satins. ODENS Eye is normally like glimmer or nothing, but that's how these are looking. Okay, I'm so excited for this plum shade. Oof, everything that I wanted it to be. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Here's that kind of satiny shimmer shade. You can see the difference between the two levels of shimmers. It's closer to a satin, but not quite a satin. This petal shade is also really beautiful. It has a lot of reflex in there. And then we have this light lavender shade as well. Then we're going to finish off with the last 4 shades. So there's 3 mattes here. This one, Flora, is really close to my skin tone. It's a great transitional shade. Then we have a baby powder blue. This is that dew shade. I see why she called it dew. It's almost a skin tone color, but it's going to add a pretty dewy look to the skin. I can't wait to try that. And then here is wood. So that's going to give a little bit of depth here, but this is what the palette's looking like. If you need depth, this might not be the one for you, but it is a gorgeous pastel palette. And if you want some inspiration, take a look at her channel. I'm sure she'll do a lot of looks with this, but these swatched amazing. So I'm expecting them, knowing ODENS Eye quality, to translate over to the eyelid really well. This one has the least amount of glimmer shades, which is not a bad thing because I do appreciate these ODENS Eye ones. I just noticed Annette's was the most glittery, and then this one is the least glittery. And obviously this one's the lightest. Now her lip colors are going to come in this pastel, yellow, green, and pink packaging. And her formulas, she has 2 shines and 1 matte. So we'll do the shines first. This one is Buttercup. Ooh, this one's really pretty. Gives a little bit of color to the face, but it's still very natural. I love this color. How pretty is that? It's like the perfect spring lip. Okay, then we have Dahlia. Sheer pinky red as well. This is the lightest of like the sheer reds that I've been talking about. Kind of almost gives that Just Bitten look to it. That's pretty. All of these lip colors are so pretty and so unique. And then let's do her matte shade in Tulips. Very matte. This is nothing to the creator at all. I just don't really care for matte lips like this in general, because my lips are too wrinkly for this formula. So what I'm going to do, I can show you. I'm going to take from Tina's collection, the Glow in the shade Creativity, just to add some moisture back to the lips. It instantly feels so much better. So you see, this doesn't add a glow per se, or like a super lip glossy wet shine, but it made it so much more comfortable, which I'm happy with. Alright guys, so those were all 3 collections. They are all gorgeous. A huge congratulations to each of those creators. You guys always kill it. So, you know, I was obsessed with the last one, obsessed with this one as well. Now, I don't think discount codes work on these collections, but if you do purchase something that's not a collaboration, you can use my code to save money off of that if you're picking anything else up. So I'll have that linked in the description box for you. Now the reason, oh, first, actually, let's take a sip. I just wanted to take a moment, if you made it to the end. Apologize if this one seemed a little bit rushed. You know, I didn't really get to test out any of these. I had to just swatch them and go. Because it was rushed, I have a lot going on right now, and I'm gonna explain it in another video. Nothing bad. All really great, and no, I'm not pregnant. That's always the first go-to. I'm not pregnant. But really, really great news. I'm going to film a video about it next week. But when you hear what it is, you'll be like, ah, I see why you have no time to do anything. That's why this is just a swatch and sip. I couldn't give you more detail about application or anything, so I do apologize for that. But if I didn't film this now, then I wouldn't have been able to film it at all, and you guys never would have seen anything about this collection. So just wanted to sip, hanging out, and swatch some beautiful eyeshadows, and I'm so happy that I did still get to do that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Let me know, are you going to be picking up anything from this collection? Make sure you take a moment to congratulate each of these creators. They once again did such a good job with these color stories. I don't think I could do a color story better than any of these. I'm not creative enough. They do such a good job, I just can't get over it. Anyways, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye guys, have a good one.